Backyards, as empty as a company's promises.
We've heard so many excuses. We've been told so many days and dates that they were coming and nothing.
He just kept saying, I've got a builder starting next week. I've got a builder starting next week.
Not one, not two, but 12 customers coming to Fair Go saying they didn't get the cabin they paid for. It's a full house here in Hokitika.
Want to tell hi?
Nikita just managing to squeeze 6 kids and her mum into the space. So how do you make it work?
There's just lots in the bedroom. You know, like 2 little ones are with us and then the 2 older ones and our 1 boy sharing. And then my mum and our other daughter in the room.
Then she spotted a solution, these cosy cabins for sale on Facebook.
They looked awesome.
Not just to her eyes, but to Kate in Westport, who needed a place to put up her parents.
Families are not on the coast, so instead of having to shuffle the kids around every time somebody comes to stay.
While Jeremy in Taranaki wanted to fill up the space with sound.
My partner is a music teacher and tutors music as well.
The cabins were being advertised by High Country Cabins. It says here kit set studio units and sheds are its speciality. There are other companies with similar names, but we're talking about the one run by Charlie Thompson, who was in the papers a few years back for offering shares in a 500-hectare station.
And I thought, oh, this guy looks like a good businessman, and it was all a very positive article about what he was doing.
Charlie posted his cabin listings all over the country, like this one in Hastings just a month ago. Back in February, Nikita paid $16,000 for 2 kit set cabins. Charlie told her they'd be ready in 6 weeks.
6 weeks went since nothing. We were told some guy was coming over with some timber and that didn't happen. No one turned up. And then I got a hold of him and he said that the guy was sick and that he'll be over the next day. That didn't happen.
She asked for proof work was actually underway.
I've asked him for a picture. I've asked for the guy's number that was meant to come over the first time. He hasn't provided anything.
Meanwhile, in Westport, Kate had paid a $5,000 deposit to have her cabin ready for the school holidays.
That was really important because my parents were coming to stay to help us out.
She says she provided Charlie details of what they were after, including measurements and a floor plan.
We sent all of that through and just kept getting assurances that it was being prefabbed in his yard, and I don't know how to build a cabin, so I trusted that that's what was happening.
She started getting nervous when communication dropped off and no one showed up to make a start on the piles.
He never rang me and said, hey, look, it's going to be delayed, or we've got some problems, or I'm struggling with this, or the builder quit. He never came forth with any of that information. I had to pull it out of him every single time.
Just over a week out from when the cabin was supposed to be ready, Charlie asked Kate for the floor plans again.
That was like, no, something seriously wrong here.
Jeremy was having similar doubts. He might well have a cabin now, but he's had a helping hand.
Been very lucky to have a local builder come to our aid. They're going to hopefully have this lined and almost finished for us in the next week.
Strip that work back, and this is what Jeremy had to show for his $4,000 deposit to High Country Cabins.
I'm not quite sure of the word prefab, but I'm pretty sure that's not it.
Unlike Kate and Nikita, Jeremy actually had 2 builders show up to his place.
The initial builder we had didn't actually know anything about the build. He wasn't even aware initially that there is to be a mezzanine floor built in here.
Jeremy says the builder would show up for a couple of hours at a time and then couldn't be contacted. Charlie sent another builder who got a bit further and then stopped work too. The build was supposed to be finished in 4 weeks. After 3 months, Jeremy and his partner asked Charlie for their money back, minus materials.
We've had estimates there's about $2,000 worth of material here, so how about you pay us $1,000 back, you put $1,000 in your pocket, and we just call an end to our business.
Charlie asked for Jeremy's bank details, but hasn't paid back a cent. He's also agreed to refund Kate and Nikita, but they're still waiting.
It's a lot of money. And I feel like he hasn't just taken that from us, he took it from our kids too. You know, those cabins were for them. And we don't have that kind of money just to have nothing for it.
And Kate's had to spend thousands more on a temporary option to get by.
Lots of broken promises of, yep, payment's going to be in tonight. Nothing happens. Asking for confirmations of bank accounts, which I've given him several times, and then no refund shows, and there's just radio silence.
Fairgo has been hearing similar stories from around the country, including Danny and Gina in Lower Moutere with this partially built cabin, despite Charlie telling them it was already built when they bought it. That was nearly a year ago. Charlie says COVID made transportation difficult and expensive, so he decided he would build the cabin on site. This is Maria and Michael's cabin in Alexandra. They paid $12,500 last October, which has got them frames, a roof and floor, but still no windows, doors or bats. Charlie says he's agreed to a refund, but that's news to them. And Jade in Dunedin still has nothing to show for her $14,000. She's also been waiting a year. Charlie says there was a delay on aluminium joinery and he'll deliver the cabin later this month.
And you still see him advertising. And that's the hardest bit, is that he's still doing this to people and he just treats them like an ATM, is how it feels, to be honest.
Charlie has now refunded Kate and says he apologises and takes responsibility for the stress on customers.
It is regrettable that some of the timeframes for the cabin builds have been prolonged. The impact of COVID lockdowns and restrictions, staffing shortages and supply issues have played a significant part, alongside customers not wanting to proceed due to their individual circumstances in these uncertain times.
If there'd just been some honest communication, this would never have come to this point with anyone.
Customers like Jeremy find it hard to believe that supplies and labour are the problem. He says he's been able to sort his own.
We went down to ITM and they had the products delivered to us that day. The cladding took about a week in total.
Charlie says he's changed his business model to only supply kit sets and won't take on any more work until all current builds are complete, while other customers like Jeremy are leaving the final word to the disputes tribunal.